Hello, and thank you for joining me for another story. Now, so far, all of the stories have been arguably ghost stories, although I've been straying further and further away from that as time has gone by. This one, which is entitled From IK to JN, is the least like a ghost story of any of them. I won't give too much away about the plot. The one thing I'm going to try and do with this as well is try and incorporate the music more into the story. As you know, all of them have some kind of musical undercurrent or some kind of pattern that goes with them that links it to music somehow, some more tenuously than others. This one is divided into 4 parts. It's still a short story, but each part is occupied by a different song. And you may recognise some and you may not recognise others, or you may recognise none of them. So I will begin from IK to JN, and the first part is called Ocean Man. The ocean is ours, thank you. I've never known freedom like this. When I left England, I left behind an island overcrowded with dirt, disease and death. The waters were smothered in the filth of millions of desperate humans. Here the sky is clear, the sea is like no jewel or crystal I have ever seen. You may have come from the same islands as me, but now you are truly a man of these islands. I can see it in your eyes, that thirst for the ocean. A mad, wild intensity brought on by heat and the lawless swathes of sand and rock you call home. In the dirty port cities of home, the churn of machinery and turn of wheels power our lives, which in turn power those machines. But in you, I see you are powered by the deepest sunsets, the strongest winds, and the largest bolts of lightning that claw across the sky. I know that you steal and plunder, and that together we go against both God and King. But given the choice between crushed bones in a factory that cares not for my existence, and a death beneath the waves, for my own fault, the latter is always what I'd choose. For men like us, life is brief in any case, so a brief life of freedom is what I shall have. I could never know you or adore you in the way I do without the lawless freedom of these islands, and who knows how long that will last. But we have today, if nothing else. Perhaps one day you'll read this, though I'm afraid what you'd think if you did. With wild hair and piercing eyes, you take me by the hand and turn me into the villain I've always wanted to be. Every small boat you commandeer, every rock we set foot on, every reef we dive for, every dune we hide in, brings me closer to death and yet also closer to life than I have ever been. That you ever saw humour or joy, or anything to be loved in me when we met, but a few weeks ago, astonishes me. Their empire has crushed the happiness and hope of many like me. But in a few short weeks, with those mad magical eyes and sharp wit, you have found vitality and determination in me. In England, people are born alive, live as ghosts and die as worse. Here, we arrive as ghosts and will die alive. Working in factories numbs pain, but now I delight in feeling every insect bite and scratch as we push through dense forests, searching for things you've hidden, stolen. I am grateful to the God that probably hates me, for sparing me over the many other wretched souls that died on the way here. A stowaway has no right to existence on board, so if we die, we never existed as far as the captains are concerned. I am lucky to have made it here, to you, my ocean man. And part 2 is these days. We'd wash up on a different island every day if it were up to you. It's been several months since I last wrote, and our life together has strengthened. Your wild mischief has not been tamed, and my drudgery and gloom has been ignited by adventure. Though we traverse and crash across many waves, and dash between islets and sandbars, we now have a sort of home. It's little more than a shack, and I doubt it would withstand the storms we get in summertime. But to have warmth, the warmth of another man, as opposed to the cold, bleak, smoky desolation back in England, is more than I could have hoped for. And it is warmth. While you claim to be a cold-hearted adventurer only out for wealth and the life of a rogue, you show every day that you can be compassionate, humble, kind, and above all, deeply affectionate. Worn hands are softer than mechanical hands of supposed progress. It's strange, every ship and every harbour reminds me that disease and death haunt these islands, as they did at home, and I feel no oppression by it. I am not forced to spend my existence in a confined space with them, like a relative that would watch and snarl at my very existence, trapping me in their godly hell. While the Crown is weak many thousands of miles to the southwest, I feel safer here than ever under the law of England. But I am not without fear, and neither are you. The land, what little there is of it, and the sea, so much of it, may be free, but people do not change. Evangelists and godly men stalk the islands, clutching their baseless morality and high ideals. We are dirty, they are clean. No, worse, we are dirt, and the noose is a brush. Beware, my love, beware their eyes and ears, for they watch us and hear us. Until such time as they try to act, we will live and run and swim and sail. Your rebellion, your impulsive adventures keep us alert, ready to vanish. If we do vanish, I hope we reappear together. Surely these are the days to remember, days of no regret. And the third part is Mein Freund ist mein. You awake every morning without me, in a cell, a stone prison. If I had never arrived 2 years ago, if I had not sought adventure, you would still be free, not waiting the noose. The tragedy of our tale, that my freedom should cost yours. As I was locked in a prison of toil and dirt, you must atone on a bed of earth. As you were the rogue and I the freed slave, I am now on the run, and you are the captured. I am so sorry, my love. No crystal sea or wild eyes, no mischief or laughter. Without each other we are ghosts, but to try and be together means we both suffer. This cannot stand. Their godliness has caused more evil and pain than any god would wish. Were I that god, I'd upturn the sea and wrap the tempests around my fingers, watch them dance and roll across the houses of the godly men, watch your prison crumble and dissolve. I'd ignite the ocean and boil the crown's ships, and light the flame in your eyes once more. But I am no god. I am dirt, dirt on which the bodies will fall, bodies of England's quest to break its own borders and burst into the world, till the whole sphere knows the suffocation I feel. I have a solution to our woe, and you will despise me for it, but perhaps that is best. And since you will not read this, you cannot stop me. The jailer says that if I return to England, he will free you. I must never return. This pain will be deep and sharp, but the greatest pain I can ever feel is knowing that you suffer at my hands for my heart. To stop that, to save you, is more mighty and godly than anything our hunters proclaim. The world will continue to shift and change, and bodies will sink into the sand, and they will have spent their lives determining the sins of others till their time is up and wasted. Knowing their lives will diminish comforts me, as long as I can be sure you are free. Though you never care for verse or the songs of religion and wealth, since you will never read this, I must impart onto paper a writing I saw translated from German in a merchant's house some months ago. My friend is mine, and I am yours. Love will never part us. I will with you, you will with me, graze among heaven's roses, where complete pleasure and delight will be. And the final part is love you from afar. Our perfect ruin. The jailer may have freed you, and the law may have decided you are no longer worth holding on to. Who keeps dirt? But I am afraid events are running a course we cannot escape. How carefree we were to flee together, to find another island. How foolish I was to put my desire for you above my love for you. Were I to leave, you would be safe. Now we stay together on the run, and the crows are circling, or gulls. Word has spread across the islands, and nowhere is safe. The crown will not save us from the mob, driven by hate and fear of something they know nothing about. First, you were free, and I was imprisoned in England. Then we were free together on sea and sand. Then you were trapped in stone, and I trapped in my own despair. Now we are both trapped wherever we exist. We will be hanged, torn apart, or worse. I would let myself be torn limb from limb if it meant you were safe. You believe everything will be fine, just as storms never last forever. But you do not know these men. These are men of my land, the same who kept me under machine and wheel, on water and dry bread. In escaping them, they will hunt me down until there is nothing left to hunt. And because you do not know them, you do not know how they break your soul and your heart as they fashion you into a mechanical part of their factory. By the time you read this, and somehow you will, this time I have left all my letters for you. I will be gone, and you will never be able to see me, to touch me, to embrace me. But you will live, and sail, and run, and plunder, and raid. Together we are trapped, doomed. Separate, you can be free. However, I cannot live a life as I did before. To return to servitude is worse than death. To be apart from you is something I cannot bear. Not in this lonely world slowly being eaten by England. By the time you read this, I will be a ghost of the sea, no longer doomed to be dirt, but instead with the crystal water. I will be a glint in the shimmering water and a sparkle in your shining mad eyes. Ocean man, now I am ocean man. I will guard the water, the shoreline, and watch you live, breathe. But beware, for the world is churning, and one day it will take you too. Your life is not meant for the future, only for the past, and barely the present. Crowns and sceptres turn their jewels towards things they want for themselves. One day you will meet their path, and will run no more. Then we can be together, be ocean men. Until that time, I will love you from afar, with my last breath and all my love, from IK to JN.